Khalid ibn Walid, the sword of Allah from enemy of Islam to legendary general. Imagine someone who once stood in the ranks of the Prophet Muhammad's opponents, but then, he became the greatest general the Muslims ever had. He was Khalid ibn Walid, the unsheathed sword of Allah, a figure whose name even his enemies were reluctant to speak. Khalid ibn Walid was born into the Quraysh tribe, into a respected noble family in Mecca. He grew up as a true warrior, strong, intelligent, and ambitious. And in the early days of Islam's preaching, Khalid was not a friend, but a foe. He was among those who fought against the Prophet Muhammad at the Battle of Uhud. Tragically, it was Khalid's tactical genius that nearly defeated the Muslim army. But did you know? It was precisely from that incident that Allah prepared a great destiny for him. After the conquest of Mecca, the light of Islam penetrated his heart. Khalid said softly, "I have traveled a long path opposing the truth. It is time for me to atone for it with struggle." And from that day on, his sword was no longer drawn against Islam, but to defend it. If today we have marketing strategies, gaming strategies, political strategies, Khalid had a strategy for eternity. He read the battlefield like a chess player. Every move was calculated. The Battle of Mu'tah, 3,000 Muslims against 200,000 Romans. It was an impossible situation, but Khalid used his wits, reorganizing his ranks as if the Muslims had received reinforcements. The enemy was fooled, and from near certain defeat, the Muslims managed to retreat with honor. That was the moment when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave him the nickname Saifullah, the drawn sword of Allah. Khalid was not only brave, but also visionary. In every battle, from Yamama to Yarmouk, he always found unexpected ways to win, even against forces many times larger. He led from the front, not from behind the camp. Imagine a modern general going into battle with a sword in hand, without a sophisticated helmet, without a drone, without a tank. Only faith and the spirit of jihad. But a hero doesn't always fight on the battlefield. When Khalid ibn Walid was removed from his position by Caliph Umar ibn Khattab, he didn't get angry, didn't complain. He simply said, "I fought not for Umar but for Allah subhanallah." And when death came to him, he wept. Not because he was afraid of death, but because he died in bed, not on the battlefield. He said softly, "There is not an inch of my body without a scar from a spear, sword, or arrow. But now I die in bed, like a camel." Khalid ibn Walid left this world, but his legacy will last forever, not only on the battlefield, but in the hearts of every Muslim who longs for courage and steadfastness of faith. In the modern world, people worship fictional superheroes. Muslims already have Khalid bin Walid, a true hero without CGI, without a cape, but with a heart as strong as faith. We may no longer wield swords like Khalid, but we have our own battlefield against laziness, lust, and ignorance. Khalid bin Walid taught, victory is not a matter of strength, but of faith, and that faith can only come from a sincere heart. If you like stories like this, don't forget to support this channel by subscribing and activating the bell. Also watch other videos on our network. Space Insights discussing the wonders of the cosmos and Islam. Little Islamic heroes inspiring stories of the Prophet's childhood companions. Little Animal, Nosy Animals, and God's creation. Global Tech Update, technology, and AI from the perspective of faith and science.